Hey, Maria, back with another video. It's Friday evening, and I have every intention of getting to bed at a reasonable hour tonight. I've been a little worn down. I actually slept pretty good this week, but I really just want to kind of enjoy sleeping in tomorrow and get my day started. I got a jump start on some of my tasks for the weekend, so I have some extra time. So I think I might be able to check out that flea market. So I was watching a video today, and it was called "Who Do You Trust?" And I thought it was a really good video, and of course, inspired me to make this video. Um, and I like how she expressed her experiences and how she views her reasons for not trusting people. And I kind of wanted to add a little bit more to that because I myself, I've always had my reservations about people. It's not that I don't want to have relationships. I mean, of course, you have to have people in your life in order to have anything happen in your life. You just have to. But as far as giving my ultimate trust to people, I don't think it's a good idea. And that's anybody. And that's how it has to be, especially when you're a TI, because you have, in this case, for example, my family, my blood relations were involved. Um, and then you deal with perps who people who, like, for example, know good and well that you have nothing to do with all this chaos, and they don't even have um, the decency to tell you what's going on. So we are living in a world, and you can tell just by how this whole thing played out. This is a great example of the reasons why you have to be a little bit reserved when you're dealing with other people. And that includes people that you've known for a very long time, okay? Because even people that you know from a long time ago, they will do something like this to you, okay? Um, um, it's a good thing to be polite, and it's a good thing to have what I call friendly exchanges, meaning, how are you? If somebody needs a ride to the store, or you see somebody broke down or whatever, there's nothing wrong with helping other people. There's nothing wrong with, showing common decency, okay? But, you never really know people because people always have their own agendas. And oftentimes, as you can see in this situation, people will do things to hurt you, and they will do it for just their own pleasure, and right or wrong. And I'm sure these people, when you really look at the whole thing, knew that what they were doing was wrong, but they did it anyway. And all of this could have been resolved in a phone call, a simple visit to my house, unexpected, some sort of email, some sort of urgent message. Hey, this is happening to you, but they don't do it. Okay, so I mean, there's no way in the world you can trust anybody in this day and age. You just can't do it. Okay, and the best thing to do is, keep things on a friendly level. Um, and kind of, you don't want to put people to the test, okay? Because I don't believe in doing that. But you'll find out about people through the course of your relationship with them. If it's somebody that you work with, is there a lot of gossip buzzing around? Are they suddenly quiet when you walk in the room? These sort of things. This is just an example. Not like I'm experiencing like that at the moment, because I don't really pay attention to what's going on at my workplace right now. I don't. I mind my own business, get there, get my job done, get the fuck out. Um, but when it comes to, that's just an example of the social interactions. Also, in social interactions, you'll notice how sometimes people will stay silent if they know that they're guilty. They seem to suddenly don't have an opinion. They don't seem very, what do you call it? They don't really contribute much to the conversation when you're bringing up issues relating to your problems. And oftentimes that's a sign of their own guilt, Um, and yet they still want to resume a relationship with you. They still want to be friends with you. And to me, it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there with split minds, meaning They're grinning in your face, they're smiling in your face, and then they're turning around and they're stabbing you in the back. That happens a lot, okay? Like I said, this is a great example. This right here, this whole experience is very educational. So, no, I myself, I don't trust people. In her video, she mentioned somebody giving her a gift. I remember in two situations where during the workplace mobbing, I received gifts, and they weren't expensive, but I received gifts. And I think oftentimes, receiving gifts out of the blue from people is a way for them to feel less guilty about what they're doing to you. You know what I mean? I have to even look at those things, with suspicion. And it's sad. I mean, you accept the gift, you say thank you. Of course, it's proper etiquette. But at the same time, when you are going through workplace mobbing, you're dealing with community harassment, these are a lot of tip-offs about who's guilty, okay? Because, like I said, when I give gifts, I give because I love giving, you know what I mean? Or, I thought, oh, it might make you happy, or I was thinking about you. I mean, seriously, I'm a sincere giver, okay? Gift giver. But when somebody does something out of the blue, maybe that's not to say you should always be suspicious, okay? Maybe somebody likes you, they really care about you, and they're just really thinking about. But in these situations, I would say no. In my experience during my workplace mobbing, community harassment, all this stuff, I would receive gifts. You know what I mean? And these gifts to me were a sign of them saying, I feel guilty. I somehow have to relieve my conscience. So it's sad, that we live in a world that's not, where we can feel like we can trust our neighbor, our fellow man. But the fact is, in this world, the only person that's really looking after yourself is yourself, okay? And this is a great example of it. So, and for people who are perps or whatever, or, don't think just because you're in that group that they won't do that same thing to you. That they will not do something like that to you, because they will. Okay? No one is immune or safe from that sort of betrayal. They're just not. So yeah, I mean, I myself, I don't trust people. I don't. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that, I'm going to sit here and snarl at the person at the grocery store, or I'm going to yell and treat somebody badly. If somebody is polite to me, I'm going to be polite to them. And after a certain amount of exchanges, if I feel as though I can be more comfortable, a little bit more laid back with that person, I will do so. But ultimately, I will never, ever trust anybody completely. You know what I mean? And I would never suggest anybody do that. Because, going through shock, like, of betrayal or whatever, it can be very destabilizing, okay? So, get yourself prepared and understand more about human nature. Because I'm not saying it just rolls off your back, but I think you can handle a little bit more. If you're prepared for people to never, you accept the fact that people just don't have your best interest at heart. They truly don't. No, I mean, I don't trust people. I don't, and, like I said, and I think it's wise to keep your eyes open, because people are very animalistic. They're goddamn evil. I mean, that's the nature of man, right? It just is, and I tend to be very suspicious of people who, now, if a person goes to church and they're very quiet about it, like for example, I look out the window every Sunday and I see them getting in their car and they're going to their church meeting. They come home and their family goes into their house, and then, like, maybe sometime in the midweek they have another church meeting and they're going and they're doing that, and then, like, in the course of conversation, I would have with this person after a certain period of time, and they invite me to their church, but they don't harp on it. I don't trip too hard on that. But when they just seem like so, obsessed about converting and that sort of stuff, I get very suspicious of those people, okay? And even more so now, because There's a lot of cults. There's a lot of all kinds of things out there. When you open your door and you walk outside, there is a whole world out there, a world that lacks morals, a world that lacks judgment. And there's some people who really don't know the difference between right and wrong. So you got people who are, deliberately evil, and then, consciously aware of what they're doing, and then you got people who really don't know right from wrong. So in this world, you can't trust people. You just can't do it. And by telling me that you go to church or that you love God or something like that, that is not going to build my faith in anybody, because I know firsthand how many people use that bullshit as an excuse or a mask. Okay, so no, I mean, open your eyes, people. And that's not to say that you should make enemies and you have to be suspicious of every single person. You just have to kind of go along and get the feelers out. Like when you're talking to people, what is it they're talking about, and you should enjoy conversation. I mean, I'm going to enjoy a conversation regardless, okay? But you can't just trust people and give them, you can't give everybody the benefit of doubt. And you just can't. You know what I mean? It's just too hard nowadays to put your faith in people. It just is. I almost wanted to bring up another point, and I'm getting really tired, and I'm like, hurry up, Maria. When it comes to trust, I mean, I've never really met anybody I could fully trust, and so at 46 years old, I don't think that's ever really going to happen. I'm not referring to romantic encounters. I'm talking about anybody in general, like anybody that I really felt like I can trust. You know what I mean? But then again, most of the people that I knew from my past were associated with my family. So there you go. But I also thought, I also wanted to bring up the conversation about, like for example, there has been people who've tried to help me, and I always offer them like some money because I don't want people to ever think that, because this is what goes on in people's mind, right? They will think, well, she owes me for something, so they think that they can ask for the impossible from you. And they'll think, well, you owe me a favor because I did this for you. It's like, no, we will settle this now. Take the $5, take the $25 or whatever I feel as though the job that you did for me is worth, and then whatever, okay? Now, I don't know what happened with my sister and her husband, and I always thought that I could count on them. I thought they were my family. I thought they gave a shit, right? So, when I would ask them to help me with my car, I just thought, whatever. But sometimes I get the feeling that they felt like I owed them something, and now I'm thinking, okay, I've always been that with other people. Like I've offered them some sort of like, monetary compensation for whatever they were doing. But, hey, I don't know. I guess for all the years of being mobbed out of work and then doing what they did to me, I guess they got their payback in their weird way. Okay, maybe they felt like, well, she fucking does this and she, I don't know what the deal is. Okay, but I learned my lesson. Okay, but aside from that, but other people who've always, I've met, and besides who I thought was my family, right? Other people that I knew, and I never felt like I was trying to take advantage of them. I just thought, well, they knew I was a woman who was struggling, and I thought they were trying to help me. I never really thought that they, maybe they did, who knows, but whatever the case, you don't have the right to harass me at work and then treat me like shit. I mean, that just really, and if that is what they were thinking, they should have confronted me, and talked to me about it. And I was thinking, okay, well, I don't want you to think I'm taking advantage of you, because I'm not. I'm just, whatever. But whatever the deal is, you can't trust and think that people really give a shit, okay? Because sometimes they just don't, okay? They don't. So, but when it comes to me dealing with other people, notice, like, most people say, she doesn't like me doing anything for her. I don't. You know what I mean? I will always try to say, hey, do you want me to pay this? Or I will always kind of insist on paying them for the reason of, because I don't want them ever thinking, well, and this is how twisted people's minds get. She owes me for this and this and this, therefore I can do this, 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 and this. And the answer is no, you cannot, okay? You can't do that. So, I mean, I'm the kind of person, I'm a very self-sufficient person, okay? Because you won't believe the kind of unreasonable bullshit that people will expect as payback for whatever. Okay, so the issue is no, we'll settle this shit right here. If you like repair a tire for my car and I paid for the tire, then I will pay you maybe $40. Okay, I'll say, hey, is 40 enough or whatever. I don't want fucking people doing shit for me. Why? Because I don't fucking trust people. I just don't. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say, but and that doesn't mean that I don't care about people who are starving. It doesn't mean that I, whatever. But you just gotta watch your back in this world, okay? And like I said, if you're a TI, you should know, of all people, that you can never trust anybody ever again. You know what I mean? I've always had my reservations about just opening myself up to people. But after this, you better believe I have to always be that way. But that's not to say that I won't. I'm a standoffish person, because I'm a very social person, believe it or not. If I'm not being gang stalked, if I'm not being bombarded by perps, I converse well, and I enjoy being around conversation. But I don't want to deal with sneaky people, and sneaky people are we have far more sneaky people and evil people willing and just waiting to mess your crap up more than we would like to believe. So anyway, it's a reality, people. So I'm going to wrap this video up, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Good night.